Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram
Hare Krishna Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrind ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas College Station, welcoming all of you to Bhakti Sangha conference call. I thank all of you for attending this session. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. I would like to read the 10 offenses to the holy name which are to be avoided, written by Srila Vyasadeva in Padma Purana. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. Second, to consider the name of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal or to be independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. Third, to disobey the order of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in pursuance to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in Vedas as fruitive activity karma kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not to have a complete faith in chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Let us move on to our next part of the session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. Before that, may I know who all joined this morning?
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karna Devidasi from Omaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Indulekha Karuna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your recitation. Welcome to the call, Mataji. I don't know, today our first announcing devotees are silent today.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, and all the glories to the assembled devotees. This is Manjri Lila Devidasi from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Manjari Leela Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very beautiful chanting, Mataji, every day and this morning too. Thank you so much for your association, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada Mataji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा विनीता गंधर्विका माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय प्रीति दासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji, I was missing you. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for joining in. Very happy to hear your voice, Mataji. Welcome to the call.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvindaksha Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji, for joining and giving your association. Welcome to the call, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devidasi from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Priya Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining every day, giving your assistation. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna. Okay, go ahead. Krishna Kumari Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharika Mataji, your Gurish Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Nal.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining every day, giving your assistation. Welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shama Gauri Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining and giving your assistation. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. This is Sushmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna, Shishmita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining, and all glories to your wonderful services to the group. Welcome to the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharika Mataji, my humble obeisances to you and all assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Param Pavani Shama Devi Dasi from Baltimore, Maryland. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Param Bhavani Shama Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for your services. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody? Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardana Swami Maharaj with us to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, 10th chapter, verse number 13. Before I hand over call to Maharaj, I request Param Bhavani Shama Mataji to take over from here and give a brief introduction about Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear Mataji. Thank you so much for the opportunity to glorify Maharaj. So here's a brief introduction about His Holiness Bhakti Anugraha Janardana Swami Maharaj, who was born in Philippines. Maharaj is a senior disciple of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He joined ISKCON in the year of 1984 in Toronto, Canada. When Maharaj was 14 years old, he started to get curiosity about spirituality, and that's when he came in touch with Srila Prabhupada's books. When Maharaj got more and more interest in Srila Prabhupada's books, he insisted his mother to get him Bhagavad Gita. However, he was not able to receive Gita at that time by mail due to some reasons. But when he moved to Canada in 1980, he could successfully get his first Bhagavad Gita by mail from Los Angeles. When Maharaj was in Toronto in 1984, he visited a temple and never left ISKCON temple after that. He started to live in temple on rent rather than staying outside, and that's how Maharaj got involved in temple services. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj has recommended making Maharaj a member of the Vrindavan Executive Board, and so Maharaj has been serving as a Vice President in Vrindavan, India for more than 12 years. Maharaj is an excellent kirtanier. He travels with he used to travel with His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj all over the world. He is traveling and preaching Krishna consciousness, and especially has been preaching in Delhi, Vrindavan, and Philippines. Hare Krishna. dear devotees, this was a brief introduction of his.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction about Maharaj. I think Maharaj is not yet joined. Now we can wait for Maharaj. In meanwhile, if anybody want to introduce themselves, they can go ahead and introduce, or else we can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra until Maharaj joins. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Assemble devotee. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining. Welcome to the call. Is there anybody who would like to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. Otherwise, we can chant. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare. Krishna
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare
Ram Ram
Ram Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Okay,
Ram
Maharaj
Hare
is
Hare
joined.
Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Maharaj, for joining and giving your valuable time and attention this morning and enlightening us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. I now hand over the call to you, Maharaj. And today's verse is 7th canto, 10th chapter, 13th verse, Maharaj.
Okay, so do we have to chant Jai Radha Madhava or start?
Yes, Maharaj,
whatever?
yes. We can chant Jai Radha Madhava, Maharaj.
Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Balava Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Balava Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chari Yamuna Tiravana Chari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Raja Janardana Yashodanandana Raja Janardana Yamuna Tiravana Chari Yamuna Tiravana Chari Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jai Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Shri Radhe Jai Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jai Krishna Balaram Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Vishnu Dev Krishna Vishnu Prabhupada Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shah Serupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavanismari Visabhanu Sate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from the 7th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 10, text number 13. And this is how the verse goes. Bhogena punyam kusalena, Bhogena punyam kusalena papam, Kale barankala javena hitva, Kirting visudhang suraloka gitang, Vitayamang esyasi mukta banda, Bhogena punyang kusalena papang, Kalevaram kala javena hitva, Kirting visudhang suraloka gitang, Vitayamang esyasi mukta banda. Word for word meaning, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhogena, by feelings of material happiness. Punyam, pious activities or their results. Kushalena, by acting piously. Devotional service is the best of all pious activities. Papam, all kinds of reactions to impious activities. Kalevaram, the material body. Kala Javena, by the most powerful time factor. Hitva, giving up. Kirtim, reputation. Vishudham, transcendental or fully purified. Suraloka Gitam, praised even in the heavenly planets. Vitaya, spreading all through the universe. Mam, unto me, Eshyasi, you will come back. Mukta bandha, being liberated from all bondage. Translation. My dear Prahlad, while you are in this material world, you will exhaust all the reactions of pious activity by feeling happiness, and by acting piously, you will neutralize impious activities. Because of the powerful time factor, you will give up your body, but the glories of your activities will be sang in the upper planetary systems. And being fully freed from all bondage, you will return home back to Godhead. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur says, Evam Praladasyam Sena Sadhana Shidatvam Nitya Shidatvam Cha Narada Divaj Nyayam. There are two classes of devotees, the Sadhana Siddha and the Nitya Siddha. Prahlad Maharaj is a mixed Siddha. That is, he is perfectly partly because of executing devotional service and partly because of eternal perfection. Thus he is compared to such devotees as Narad. Formerly, Narad Muni was the son of a maidservant, and therefore in his next body or next birth, he attained perfection, sadhana siddhi. because of having executed devotional service. Yet he is also a Nityasiddha because he never forgets the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Kushalena is very important. One should live in the material world very expertly. The material world is known as the world of duality because one sometimes has to act impiously and someone sometimes to act piously. Although one does not want to act impiously, the world is so fashioned that there is always danger. Padam padam yat vipadam. Srimad Bhagavatam 10 Canto, chapter 14, text 58. Thus, even when performing devotional service, a devotee has to create many enemies. Prahlad Maharaj himself had experience of this, for even his father became his enemy. A devotee should expertly manage to think always of the Supreme Lord, so that the reactions of suffering cannot touch him. This is the expert management of Papa Punya, pious and impious activities. An exalted devotee like Prahlad Maharaj is Jivan Mukta. He is liberated in this very life in the material body. Hare Krishna. Again, the verse. Bhogena punyam kushalena papam kalevaram kala japena hitva kriting vishudham suralokakitam vitayamam ishyasi muktabandha. Hare Krishna. So Prahlad Maharaj is being addressed here. Supreme Personality of Godhead said. And who is that Supreme Personality of Godhead? Huh? Lord?
Lord,
Nisinghadev. Huh?
Lord Nishingadev.
Yes. Lord Nisinghadev. Lord Nisinghadev. So, because he was the only one who was able to pacify the Lord. Isn't it? So, the main topic that's been discussed here is that Prahlad Maharaj will return home back to Godhead. But even in this form that he's having right now, is considered to be pure. He's in a liberated platform. He does not have to wait to be purified. He's already purified, having the mercy and blessings of the Supreme Lord. So because he has given up all the propensity for enjoyment, no more sins that he performed, and from the previous body, the Prahlad Maharaj, we've heard that story that before also, he was Brahmana and he had some quarrel with his girlfriend, and he didn't know he went inside the temple of Lord Nisinghadev and he was fasting all day. And that fasting, and also he was meditating on the Supreme Lord, and then somehow or other he received that particular position of being Prahlad Maharaj. But Prahlad Maharaj is a Nitya Siddha. Is partly Nitya Siddha. This is the explanation of the Acharyas. He is a Nitya Siddha, but also take forms of sadhaka for pastime's sake. He has to go to Gurukul with Santa and Amarka, but even from the womb, of his mother, the sage Narad Muni already understood that this boy is not an ordinary boy. He is a Mahabhagavat. He's a Mahabhagavat. And therefore, even from the womb and after taking birth, he is a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. But externally, somehow, he has to perform some regulative principles to attain that level whereby he is also become a siddha, sadhana siddha. In the Nectar of Devotion, it is mentioned there that there are 3 types of perfection one can have. Nitya Siddha, the position of the eternal associates of the Supreme Lord, like the eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or the eternal associates of Lord Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. They came here to the material world to perform the pastimes to attract the conditioned souls, ultimately to inspire us that there is this happiness which is unending and is always increasing, that bliss. Those eternal associates of the Supreme Lord are called Nitya Siddhas. They are not contaminated. They cannot become victimized by the modes of material nature or Maya. They came to the material world for a specific purpose, specifically to save the conditioned souls. Like Srila Prabhupada, he's a Nitya Siddha as well. It is not that he became perfect because of following the process. So it's the same thing here. They are Nitya Siddhas like Srila Prabhupada, Prahlad Maharaj, seemingly that they have to follow, they have to take, like Srila Prabhupada, he had to take initiation from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He has to follow also for our own benefit to follow him. He has to rise up early in the morning. He has to chant his rounds. What to say about the 6 Goswamis? They're also Nitya Siddhas. They're eternally liberated souls. They are manjaris, eternal associates of Radha and Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. They are highly elevated souls, but they came to the material world again to show us the conditioned souls. We are Nitya Badhas. There are 2 kinds of living beings again, mentions in the Shastra, the Nitya Siddhas and Nitya Badhas, the eternally liberated souls and the eternally conditioned souls. Eternally conditioned souls because we cannot trace in the history when we come in contact with the material energy and became conditioned, being affected by the modes of material nature. We became victimized by the material energy because we want to become independent. We want to separate ourselves from Krishna to experience our independence and wanted to be happy, separated from the Supreme Lord. So the material world was created for that purpose, for the Nitya Badhas. The material world is not for the Nitya Siddhas, but they come from time to time to save, to elevate the consciousness of the Nitya Badhas, the eternally conditioned souls. So now, This is what you call sadhana siddha, that one can attain perfection by following regulative principles. Specifically, if one wants to go back home, back to Godhead, a conditioned soul should accept a bona fide spiritual master and render service unto him and inquire from him submissively. In the Hari Bhakti Vilas, there's a description of a qualified guru and a qualified disciple. I may read that to you, just to remind you again about this process. There's another perfection that one can attain, is called kripa siddha. This is by the mercy of the Supreme Lord or a very highly elevated soul. That's why in India they always ask blessings from sadhu or sannyasis. They want to become perfect, or more likely, they also want to fulfill their material desires. So I'm going to read to you so that we can be reminded again of the characteristics of the disciple, how we should conduct ourselves, so that by following this, what we call sadhana, the regulative principles, we can attain the level of becoming sadhana siddha. Then when one becomes perfected by following the regulative principles, then it becomes a nitya siddha. Ultimately, everyone will become a nitya siddha. But the nitya siddha is always a nitya siddha. But we've heard also that the Mahabhagavat and Uttama Bhakta comes to the Madhyam platform to preach, to spread Krishna consciousness. Okay, so I'm going to read to you necessity of serving a guru. I see. I'll read to you that one, that part, and then few things here. In the 10th canto, of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the prayers of the Vedas, it is said, the mind is like an impetuous horse that even persons who have regulated their senses and breath cannot control. People in this world who try to tame the uncontrolled mind, but who abandon the feet of their spiritual master, encounter hundreds of obstacles in their cultivation of various distressful practices. O unborn Lord, they are like merchants in a boat in an ocean who have failed to employ a helmsman. So we, in the process of following the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti is again following the regulative principles. It's divided into two parts. Sadhana means Vaidhi Sadhana and also Raganuga Bhakti. So here, the Guru, the commentary by Srila Sanatana Goswami. This book commented by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Those who attempt to control the horse-like untamed mind with uncontrolled senses and prana, not taking shelter of the feet of Guru, suffering with many methods, upaya, kidha, encountering many problems, remain in the ocean of samsara. They attain suffering again and again, O Lord, Ajja. They are like merchants without captain. I was reading also, there is a book written by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because in the sadhana process, first thing first is one should control one's mind in order to make progress in Krishna consciousness. It's not just more externally that we try to do devotional service, practice devotional service, because bhakti is more of internal. And if our mind is disturbed, then we'll not be able to follow the process of sadhana bhakti. So for most of us, if not for all of us, we are in this category, following the process by the sadhana bhakti. And the mind is number one. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wrote a book called Vaishnav Ke. It's like preaching to the mind. A devotee who is telling the mind to be tame, to be peaceful, to always think of Krishna. So this is very important. It says here again, let me read to you the qualifications of a disciple. Characteristics of the disciple: being of pure family, charming, humble, pleasing to see, truthful, pious, most intelligent, devoid of pretense, devoid of lust and anger, devoted to Guru's feet, and devoted to the Lord day and night with body, mind, and words, free of disease, devoid of countless sins, filled with faith, always absorbed in worshipping Brahmanas, the Devatas, and Pitris, young, sense-controlled, and merciful. The disciple who is endowed with such characteristics is qualified for Diksha. But it seems to be that some of them, we may not be able to have all of these qualities, isn't it? Because some of us join the Krishna consciousness when we're not young anymore, or we may have some disease. But the main thing here, the commentary, the disciple should be without pride, without selfishness, without laziness, without possessiveness, and should have firm faith or affection for Guru. He should be patient in attaining his goal, desirous of knowing the truth, free of envy, and controlled in speech. So this is the most important thing, to have firm affection for Guru. That word, let me see in the Sanskrit. Ultimately, Guru Nistha, we should have firm faith or affection towards a spiritual master. Everything will be possible. So Prahlad Maharaj here has a firm faith with his spiritual master, who is Narad Muni. He is a Nitya Siddha, but at the same time, it says here, is a mixed Siddha. Sadhana Siddha and Nitya Siddha. He is perfect partly because of executing devotional service and partly because of eternal perfection. So Prahlad Maharaj is one of the Mahajans as well. Was that Swayambhu Narado Shambhu Komara Kapilo Manu Prahlado Janako Vishnu Balir Bayasa Kivayam. He may be just a mere 5-year-old boy when Lord Nrsimhadev rescued him from the atrocities of Hiranyakashipu, but nevertheless, He was a Mahabhagavat, a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. It's a Nitya Siddha, but then again, just to show us the process, same with the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or in our disciplic succession, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, huh? But they are not ordinary souls at the same time. They're signs that of their greatness, even while they are still present during that time. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he took a vow to chant 1 billion times the holy names of the Lord. 1 billion times before he proceed to preach. A billion is a lot. We try to chant every day, what, 25,000 times the holy name of the Lord. It took him many years to attain that. So seemingly, externally, he had to take that vow, but he's also a Nitya Siddha. He's one of the Manjaris, the eternal associates. By age, the Manjaris are younger than the Sakhis, like the Asta Sakhis or the other associates of Radha and Krishna. So Nitya Siddha, he never forgets Krishna, never forgets the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's like that. They don't forget their eternal nature, being servant of the Supreme Lord. They never thought at any moment that to be an enjoyer or a proprietor or the Supreme Proprietor. They will always consider themselves to be servant of a servant of a servant of their spiritual master. So Narad Muni is another devotee who is a Mahabhagavat. Prabhupada mentions Narad Muni in the purport. It may seemingly that he was son of a maidservant, and he was serving the Bhakti Vedantas at the time of Chaturmasya. It's like present moment here in Vrindavan. Chaturmasya is a little late. That means a rainy season. We had rain, so much rain in the last few days, continuously. Many devotees says that this doesn't happen very often. But in the last week or 2 weeks, it's like continuous rain, so heavy rain. It disrupts many, many things. It's like we went to Delhi the other day for a program. It took us like 7.5 hours to reach Delhi, to reach the program. So Narad Muni, he was serving the Bhakti Vedantas during the Chaturmasya, rainy season, because the sadhus, traditionally they don't travel. They just stay in one place to do their bhajans. So Narad Muni, being son of a maidservant, he had that opportunity to serve the Bhakti Vedantas, and somehow they became enamored by his service attitude, and he will also ask the permission to hear from them, and at the same time also receive the remnants, the Mahaprasad from them. Then in his next life, he became Narad Muni, transcendental spaceman, traveling all over the world, not just the world, all over the universe. And he can go back and forth to the spiritual world without any hindrance, without any visa or passport. So again, he's a Nitya Siddha, but then somehow, seemingly that he had to perform these regulative principles. to show us. So yes, says here, the word kusalena is very important. One should live in the material world very expertly. The material world is known as the world of duality because one sometimes has to act impiously and sometimes has to act piously. So this is for the conditioned souls. For the eternally liberated souls, they cannot be trapped. There is no way of having them being victimized of the dualities of this material world. Says here, yes, the world is so fashioned that there is always danger. Padam, padam, yati padam. So we must be very careful because we were reading also yesterday about Prabhupada saying that spiritual life is like a razor's edge. We have to be attentive because Maya can creep in, Maya can capture us if we are not attentive, even on the path of Bhakti. If we are not careful, then there is a tendency that we may slip or fall down. And again, we were mentioning earlier that the mind is tricking us. And the Bhagavad Gita says the mind can be our worst enemy and it can be our best friend. So we have to somehow be extra careful, have always in the association of the devotees. Because in the association of devotees, and Prabhupada says that the safest place in this world is in kirtan and being engaged in the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord, or always chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. As Prabhupada says, there is no way to control the mind. There is no possible to control the mind. The only way how we can control the mind is to think of Krishna and to chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. It's like Prahlad Maharaj is that acharya of in the 9 processes of devotional service of always remembering Lord Krishna in many difficulties, in all the dangers that he went through, is always thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should try to think always of the Supreme Lord and not forget him. If you're always thinking of the Supreme Lord, then Maya cannot touch us. And eventually we will attain that level of bhakti to become completely purified, and we will be always in that liberated platform, the Brahma Bhuta platform, whereby there's no more hankering for what we nasochati nakangshati. There's no more lamentation for what we've lost and no more hankering for what we don't have. So yes, this is a level, as Prabhupada says also. I was listening the other day that one performs bhakti only after liberation, after becoming free from the desire to enjoy the material energy and to acquire knowledge for mental speculation. So yes, Prahlad Maharaj is a Jivan Mukta, is a liberated soul even before being in this pastime of Prahlad Maharaj, being saved by the Supreme Lord, Lord Nrsimhadev. Otherwise, Lord Nrsimhadev will not come to save his pure devotee. So we have to do our part. This is very important. If you can have a hold of this book, which was translated by His Holiness Bhanu Swami, is called Hari Bhakti Vilas. Somehow or other, one very kind devotee, the whole family, they sponsored me the whole work, all the translations by His Holiness Bhana Swami, and this is one of them. How we can purify ourselves by following properly the sadhana bhakti, and then ultimately we'll also come to the platform where we become nitya siddha. As Prabhupada says, we're all in that platform, ultimately liberated souls, but somehow or other we became independent and we want to be separated from the Supreme Lord. So there's another one called Kripa Siddha. Now this is very rare. Kripa Siddha means by the mercy of pure devotee or the Supreme Lord, one does not have to undergo the process of sadhana bhakti. Or if one goes to the process of sadhana bhakti, he can easily follow that. He can easily execute sadhana bhakti. Example, Jagai and Madai, by the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Yes, by the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, he was able to save them by asking Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gorangera Sanghe Gane Nitya Siddha Boli Mane. Now, there are special souls. Of course, Jagai and Madai, they're not different than Jai and Vijay, the original Jai and Vijay, who are the chokidars or the eternal servants of Lord Narayan. They are the guards towards before entering the Vaikuntha. So sadhana siddha, kripa siddha, and nitya siddha. When all of these three categories come to that level of becoming perfect, siddha, then you cannot distinguish whether one is sadhana siddha or kripa siddha attainment. Everyone becomes nitya siddha. Okay, I'm going to stop here now. Is there any question or comment?
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances to your lotus feet. So instructive and blissful class, Maharaj. And like I had the confusion of this mixed siddha for a long time, and today you made it very, very clear with multiple example, and you gave the example of along with Prahlad Maharaj, you gave the example of Narad Muni, Srila Prabhupada, and all our 6 Goswamis who are actually Nitya Siddhya, but they still come here in the material world and perform their sadhana very, very carefully, just to show us how to perform bhakti, so to inspire us, and like Anita Badha like me, so that we can also do sadhana sincerely. And also you give a nice like discussion on necessity of serving Guru, with the example of Narad Muni in his birth, when he served, and also Prahlad Maharaj served Narad Muni's like instructions, and also you give very beautiful qualities of the disciple, that like pure, charming, humble. I couldn't note down all of the qualities, but I will go back and listen again. The qualities to be a good disciple. But one quality that you emphasized a lot, that is Guru Nishtha, the warm affection toward to Guru.
Oh, a lot of notes.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Maharaj, I have a question, and devotees will raise hands if they have any question. So, Maharaj, my question is like, for example, the Kripa Siddhya, as you mentioned, they are very rare. So, like sometimes like I feel in my case like I cannot perform all the sadhanas very nicely. It's only my Guru Maharaja's kripa that like whatever Krishna accepts from me. So like, so we also like kind of mixed sadhana siddha and kripa siddha, or like there is any
Yeah, that's right. The way that we are right now, this is kripa, this is mercy. As Prabhupada says, you don't have any pious credits in the past. I gave you your fortune to follow the process. If we're gonna look into this, because it says also that we come to Krishna consciousness in this lifetime for reasons like it's a continuation from the past, or we don't have any qualifications at all, but because of the mercy, the kripa, Guru kripa, Sadhu kripa, Bhagavan kripa, the mercy and the blessings of Guru, Sadhu, and the Vaishnavas, and the Supreme Lord Himself. That's why we're on this path of bhakti right now. So it is very important. But we're always, even though we receive this mercy and blessings, we should always keep on hunkering to continuously shower the mercy upon us all the way through, always asking for the blessings and mercy from the Supreme Lord and our spiritual master and the Vaishnavas. There'll be no time that we say, oh, I have enough. I already reached that level of being a pure devotee, so I don't need any more. Look at Prabhupada. He's always praising his spiritual master, is always giving the credits to his spiritual master. Because we will not reach this far. Wherever we are right now, we should be grateful that somehow this is due to the mercy of the parampara, spiritual masters, predecessors, spiritual masters, and Srila Prabhupada, and our Guru Maharaj, and Lord Krishna. Everyone. We should not take this for granted, that, oh, I already reached it, then therefore I don't need any more of their mercy. The reason why we are chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and following the process is because of the mercy. But still, we have to follow. We have to do our part, that part of sadhana, following the regulative principles and chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Because that is the goal. The means and the goal is the same. And all of this are only due to their mercy. Not until we become mature and come to that level of Brahma Bhuta platform, we still pray for the mercy of the Lord and his devotees. Yes, it is mixed. That's right. The
Thank you.
kripa and the sadhana that we are doing right now. For the reason that we'll be able to perform sadhana is the mercy of the Guru, Srila Prabhupada, the disciplic succession, and Lord Krishna himself. Yes?
Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
I see in the chat box, Radha Jyoti Mataji is saying, Hare Krishna, respected His Holiness. Please accept my humble obeisances at dust of your lotus feet. Could you please teach on Vaishnava dealings, because it's an art, how to cultivate the art of association. Prayers, your servant, Hare Krishna.
Well, this is another class, I suppose. This is Vaishnava etiquette. Well, in way how we deal with the Vaishnavas is according to our position in relationship with them. We have seniors, we have equal, and there are juniors in relation to us. So to the seniors, we serve them, we inquire from them, we serve them, yes. To the equal, we become friendly, and to the juniors than us, we give them our association. And the whole ingredient in all of this is that one should be humble. Humility should be always there, and respect should be always there. Even in dealing with the juniors than us, we should be respectful to them as well. Not just we are commanding or demanding respect. We should also respect them so that they will respect us. If you don't respect them, then their respect to you is there, but there's no love. Respect and love. Of course, when you love someone, respect is there. But not all the time that when you respect someone, that love is there. And the material world, they respect another person because of material motive. So in your dealings with everyone, not just the Vaishnavas, but also non-devotees, is that one should always to be humble, respectful, and whatever you have, whatever love you have, you try to show them. It's an art. Yeah, it's an art. I know some devotees, they talk harshly, roughly, but they have a good heart. So even the talking, the way you talk, it doesn't really always show what's inside. But even if one has a good heart, but if you speak roughly and harshly, the message that will come from you will not be soothing, will not be pleasant. So we have to learn the way how we speak, and also learn the art of listening. It's very important because, again, the words, the mouth sometimes is quicker than the mind. We should think first before we say something. We should at least think 3 times before we say something, either to our seniors, to our same, equal minded devotees like us, and to our juniors. Be careful, especially how you speak, because it will give a wrong message, even if you want to say something which is beneficial, but if you say it in a rough way, it will never be understood by that person. Okay? This is another topic.
Sukhamataji has raised her hand.
Yes,
Sukhamataji.
His
Yeah.
Holiness, thank you so much for giving the answer. But there is one follow-up question. You said about the message should be soothing and pleasant. But
Yeah,
when we deal with juniors, say very
yeah,
not juniors, but with equivalent or someone who is very new and they are trying to start the bhakti and they're asking about the process because we are trying to tell them about the holy name and the process. So at that time, sometimes it becomes very difficult to deal with them because when we are humble, the message goes that there is no need to think about their time because we are accumulated with our times and we are having constraints with our time, but they don't understand that, and the more we give the time, they take advantage of it. So at that time, how we should practically be pleasant,
you
because
must be
that is
expert. You must be expert. That's why one of the offenses is to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. If you can sense that this person is actually sincere, wanted to hear more and more and not in a challenging way, so take your time. But if you can sense that, oh, this person is just wasting my time, you can tell them, I'll talk to you later. Still be courteous so that hopefully that person will change, will have a change of heart. You have
yes,
to be
wonderful
expert.
teaching.
You have to
Yes,
be
yeah, I'll apply it.
you have to be expert. Otherwise, yeah, you're just wasting your time. You're talking to like a wall or something that will never change one's opinions. No. Okay?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Eternally grateful to you. Thank you, Swamiji.
Hari,
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Sukha Sagari Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Danvar Pranams. Thank you for the beautiful class. I just have one question, Maharaj. As I went through the purport you read so beautifully, there's a sentence where Prabhupada says that uh, even when performing devotional service, a devotee has to create many enemies. And Prahlad
Yeah.
Maharaj himself had experience of this.
Yeah.
However, we also, have learned in other verses, like from Canto 3, that a devotee is Ajata Shatrava. Like he has no enemies. So how do we reconcile, or how do we understand what Prabhupada is trying to say here, Maharaj? Thank you.
Prabhupada says, don't, what's that? A devotee has no enemies.
Yes,
Devotee
in the
doesn't
other
have,
verse from third canto, he says, he describes the qualities of a sadhu, and there it's mentioned that the sadhu is Sitik Shiva Karunika, that famous verse.
yeah, he doesn't make his enemy an enemy.
Mhm.
See, when you make progress in Krishna consciousness, the neophytes, they don't want that. They don't want to see you make progress.
Mhm.
They don't, because they're miserable. They don't want to see others become happy. They don't want to see others making progress. They think they are advanced, the neophytes. So when they see others saying, hey, why is this devotee always talking about Krishna? Why this devotee is always chanting the holy name of the Lord? So actually they pull you down to their level. This is a sign that if you're making advancement, that someone will want to pull you down. This is natural. This is a materialistic devotee. This is what neophyte. Prakrita Bhakta. It's like the materialists, they're pulling each other down. So in Bhakti also, there is what you call jealousy. A pure devotee is not jealous of anyone. But those who are in the neophyte stage, they don't want to see others become advanced. They want themselves to become advanced only. Others, they think they're advanced. And it says also that if there is some opposition in the Sankirtan mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that means that we are becoming successful. The Sankirtan mission is being successful if there are some oppositions. Okay?
Sure, Maharaj. Thank you so much. So how do we understand that, supposing, like you said, in the process of devotion, we create some enemies, like how Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, but it's due to factors not because of us, but maybe it is
It's
due to
not
our
you.
pride.
It's not you. It is not you, it is them.
But how do we differentiate that it's not our pride, which is causing this enemies? And
It's just always remain humble, as we mentioned earlier. It doesn't matter how much you become successful in bhakti, always remain humble. Always give respects to everyone. Trinada pisani china taroriva saisnana amanena manadena kinchariya sadahari. You should be always ready to offer respect to everyone and not expecting any respect towards yourself. Then you can check yourself that actually, am I really making advancement or not? If you're always looking for pratista, some name and fame, that means you're going backwards, not even backwards. That means you're gonna find yourself offensive yourself.
sure, Maharaj, thank you so much for your enlightening answer. I'm so grateful to you for your answer. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
You understand?
Yes,
You
I do get
understand?
the idea now.
Yes. Anything else?
Hare Krishna. Sorry, Sukha Mataji, for not seeing your hand for long. And dear devotees, anyone who have questions?
It says here, please forgive me too, I miss your hand. Please pardon. Oh, is that you?
Oh, I just said to Sukha Mataji, Prabhuji, it's okay.
Okay.
Is there anyone else who has question?
Anybody else?
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll end up here.
With your
We
permission,
have a long day.
with your permission, Maharaj, then we can end the call here. Dear devotees, express our humble obeisances to dear Maharaj.
वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च
नाम पावने
पतितानां वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव
राधे राधे
भक्ति अनुग्रह
Jai Radhe Radhe.
राधे राधे
so much for your
Maharaj,
enlightening
Nityananda.
sending you all the devotees.